One of the first film critics to be known by the general public passes away. And Colorado Springs investigating the city's 11th homicide of the year. Plus, the Colorado Department of Corrections holds a press conference today explaining multiple things, including how parolees are monitored. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. I'm Niki Weirich. We have more on that presser now in tonight's top story. According to the Colorado DOC, they're responsible for 14,000 people on parole right now, and there are only 212 parole officers. One tool they use to help, ankle monitoring devices. But they can only offer so much information. Fox 21's Abby Burke joins us live from the studio now with more on this story. Abby?
Niki, Evan Ebel was given an ankle monitoring bracelet, which, as we know, was removed. That act would have sent a tamper alert, but what parole officers do with that information is at their discretion. According to the DOC, in March, they received 219 tamper alerts from the type of ankle monitor device Ebel was wearing. That number includes service repairs, but officials say those are minimal. They also say tamper alerts can be caused by a number of different things, such as bumping the ankle bracelet. Currently, there is no written policy saying an officer must contact a parolee in a certain amount of time after a tamper alert. Each alert is handled on a case-by-case basis. Up until Ebel vanished, officials say he had been a model parolee and showed no signs of what was to come.
We will typically know what kind of attitude they're bringing with them to the parole office on their first day when we meet with them. There were no indications that has been reported that Evan Ebel was at all non-compliant up until the middle of March.
The National Institute of Corrections is conducting a review of all the department's parole operations. Now, records also show that a clerical error led to Ebel's early release. Governor Hickenlooper announced that the DOC will audit their records to make sure offenders are serving appropriate sentences. Niki, back to you downtown.
All right, Abby, thanks so much for that report. We're learning more about the suspect allegedly behind the murders of a Colorado prison executive and pizza delivery driver. Fox has obtained a letter written by the suspect, Evan Ebel, during his time in jail. Fox's Justin Joseph has more.
Hey, Stevie, can we just talk to you for a moment?
We found the woman police say bought the gun for Evan Ebel back at home,
Why did you get him the gun,
where she
Stevie?
continues to refuse to answer questions about why she helped Ebel and how she knew him.
Something. How did you know him?
But even without her help, we're understanding more about what may have motivated the parolee to carry out the murders of prison executive Tom Clemens and part-time pizza delivery driver Nate Leone. The latest, this letter Ebel wrote to a girlfriend in prison. In it, he talks about killing prison guards, saying, "I just fantasize about catching them out on the bricks and subjecting them to vicious torture and eventual murder." He tells the woman, "Make sure you commit the guards' full names and whatever other personal information you can glean from them, such as location of residency, and we'll go ahead and add that to the long list of fun." One of Ebel's former inmates says he believes months of solitary confinement led to the eventual demise of his friend.
This so-called monster was created by the system. I mean, you want to punish people, great. You know, we deserve the consequences, but we didn't deserve torture.
What is not clear is what led Ebel to join the white supremacist prison gang 211, which authorities speculate may have ordered the killings. In his letter, Ebel signs off with a swastika. He calls himself a god among men, evil Evan Ebel.
That was Justin Joseph reporting. Meanwhile, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office looking for two persons of interest in the Clements case. The Sheriff's Office asking for help locating 47-year-old James Lohr and 31-year-old Thomas James Gooley. Both men are members of the 211 crew and were known to have contact with Evan Ebel.
They are associates of, did know Mr. Ebel. We know that they had dealings with him in the recent past, and recent past would be described as since the time that Mr. Ebel has been out of prison, they have had associations with him.
The Sheriff's Office says at this point the men are not suspects in the case, but they do want to talk to them. They're unsure if the two are traveling together or alone, but they are considered armed and dangerous. The death Wednesday at a Colorado Springs apartment complex has been ruled a homicide. The coroner has completed the autopsy. The victim, 59-year-old Deborah Rainey of California, died of multiple stab wounds. 19-year-old Elizabeth Rainey of Colorado Springs charged with first-degree murder. The victim was Elizabeth's mother-in-law. The homicide homicide happened at Tanager Meadow Apartments. That's near Fountain and Murray. The El Paso Board of Commissioners declaring April Child Abuse Prevention Month. In 2011, there were 10 child fatalities due to abuse or neglect. Commissioner Sally Clark and DA Dan May started the Not One More Child Coalition. In just 1 year of work, the number of children who died decreased from 10 to 3. That's the lowest number since 2007. Colorado Springs police investigating an armed robbery this morning at a Walgreens. It happened at the store on North Nevada. The suspect wearing a dark coat and a white bandana over his face. He reportedly pulled a gun demanding money. Suspect got away with cash. He's described as Hispanic, about 5'3", with a thin build. Anyone with information should call police at 444-7000. Roger Ebert, the popular and influential film critic, has died. Ebert, who hosted the TV show Siskel and Ebert, was 70 years old and had battled cancer. He lost part of his lower jaw to cancer in 2006, but he continued to work and won a new generation of admirers. Certainly a perfect day to be outside. Terry has more in the next few hours now in our Fox Fastcast. Terry?
Nikki, what a day. We had temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Lots of sunshine. As a matter of fact, still nice out there. Live shot looking off toward the east from a Fox Skycam. Lots of blue skies, a few cirrus clouds. That's about it. Still have a chance to get out and enjoy some of that weather before it gets dark. Let's take a look at the 24-hour temperature change. Nice bump in those temperatures. As of 6 o'clock, it was 12 degrees warmer in Colorado Springs, 17 in Pueblo, 26 in Lamar, and 28 degrees warmer in Springfield. Another bump in those temperatures coming in for tomorrow. But with the warm temperatures, some windy conditions, and dry conditions, there is a red flag warning in effect between noon and 8 tomorrow. That means the fire danger is high. It does include Colorado Springs, Pueblo, pretty much all of southeast Colorado and the San Luis Valley. Let's take a look at that fastcast for tonight. We'll look for clear skies, 60 and 67 at 7 o'clock, 50s at 9, and between 45 and 50 at 11 o'clock tonight. So a pleasant evening coming your direction. And temperatures tomorrow, even warmer than today. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Right now, back downtown. Nikki.
Thanks so much, Terry. Colorado Springs Utilities and the Forest Service teaming up. They finalized a 5-year memorandum to reduce wildfire risk, restore burned areas, minimize erosion impacts, among other things. The partnership will have a long-term positive impact on watersheds on National Forest System lands that provide water to 450,000 residents in the Colorado Springs area. Today, Mayor Steve Bach sat down with Fox 21's John Martin to discuss an array of topics, including the changes in City Council after Tuesday's election. Here's part of that interview.
You know, in fairness to this past council, it's been a tough couple of years. If you really look back, they have all worked very hard, and I'm really proud to have served with all the people on our City Council. And yes, there have been some conflicts. I think that's the result of the new charter form of government, more so than anything else. I think they've done their best. I have certainly tried my best. So it's a new day, a new beginning, and I'm looking forward to it.
And what does it say? I mean, a lot of the votes there was a majority, especially when talking about the pay increase. I mean, it was an overwhelming, almost 80 to 20%, that the pay increase was not something that the voters wanted to see, at least during this election.
Well, it was overwhelmingly defeated, 80 to 20, I believe, 80% to 20%. And, you know, as you recall, I had asked council not to put that on the ballot by itself. I think that's certainly something we need to consider. I do think councilors should be paid more, but that needs to be part of a larger conversation, including their role long-term and their responsibilities. And I'm going to carry that forward with them and bring that back to the voters when we can and when it's appropriate as part of a larger discussion. This election is about anti-incumbency. I read the results to mean that the voters are still not happy with the way we're running this city government. And this will be the third election, I think, in a row where the voters have spoken pretty strongly in terms of how they want to see things done differently. So I think the new council will take that to heart. I certainly do. I'm going to redouble my efforts. I can get better. I want to get better.
Well, to view the interview in its entirety, just visit our website, fox21news.com. Well, if you know someone who's balding, you may want to stick around for this story. They could be at a higher risk for a certain disease. And ice cream spill, the Kroger Deluxe brand going everywhere on this highway. That story, and Terry will have your forecast coming up next.
You are watching Fox 21 News at 6:30. Live from downtown Colorado Springs, this is Fox 21 News at 6:30.
Tractor trailer overturns in Indiana, spilling cartons of ice cream, about 35,000 pounds to be exact. We're told the delivery was an assortment of flavors of Kroger Deluxe brands. Authorities say the driver lost control on the exit ramp, suffering some minor injuries. Geez, hate to see all that ice cream go to waste, right, Terry?
Well, I tell you, Nikki, that is a heartbreaker. And then on top of that, it's the Deluxe brand. Whew, man, that hurts. Let's take a look at these temperatures outside right now. And it's a pleasant evening. 55 over Monument Hill, 62 in Air Force Academy, mid-60s Colorado Springs and Fort Carson. So if you're thinking about taking a walk, no problems this evening. 70 right now in Pueblo, and 70s out along the Arkansas River all the way out to Lamar. 67 Springfield, 64 in Lyman, 62 in Alamosa. So enjoy yourself outside if you're going to take a walk or just get out there this evening. Now, we do have some changes coming in our direction. We have plenty of sunshine today. You can see those clouds ahead of a front moving in our direction. So we'll see more clouds coming in tomorrow, but the front itself is kind of on the back side of those clouds right in there. So it's not going to cool us off till late tomorrow or tomorrow night. Tomorrow we're ahead of the front. We'll see the clouds, but we will warm up into the 70s and some 80s. Then that moves through, cools us off a little bit coming up for Saturday. But when I say cool off, only back into the 60s for most places, at least east of the mountains. So it's not going to be a terrible weekend. It just will be cooler than what we're expecting for tomorrow. Let's take a look at future view, and overnight some of those clouds start to come our direction as you get up tomorrow morning. Looks like some clouds along the I-25 corridor. Still some sunshine out to the eastern part of the state as the day goes on. We'll see some periods of clouds, periods of sun throughout much of the state. Some colder air coming our direction, and as it gets into the mountains, we will see a mixture of some rain and snow by late tomorrow. I don't think that's going to make it out into the eastern plains. I think we stay dry. We start to clear out overnight tomorrow night. We start Saturday with some sunshine, at least according to future view. As the day goes on, though, some more off and on type cloudiness, but not much in the way of precipitation. If anything, there's a chance of some showers late Saturday and Saturday evening. But if you're thinking about being outside Saturday, most of the day, I think you're going to be just fine. And the temperatures, although cooler than tomorrow, not too bad. Let's take a look at what we expect for tonight. We will look for mostly clear skies, at least through much of the night. We could see a few clouds in the early morning hours. There in the overnight, low temperatures 37 in Lamar, 40 in Springfield, 40 also in Walsenburg, 35 in Salida, 34 in Woodland Park. Coming up for tomorrow, we'll look for, we'll call it partly cloudy skies. We're getting periods of sun, periods of clouds. It will be warmer, no doubt about that. Look at all those 70s, and hey, we got an 80 going there in Lamar, 79 in Springfield, 76 in Trinidad, 74 Walsenburg, 76 in Canyon City, 69 Salida, 63 in Woodland Park, and 69 in Black Forest. The forecast for Colorado Springs and Pueblo. Let's find out what's going on, and if you like the heat, you're going to love this. Overnight tonight, mostly clear skies, low temperature of 38 in Colorado Springs. Pueblo, look for a low of 34. Coming up for tomorrow, we'll look for partly cloudy skies. Again, periods of clouds, periods of sun. It'll be a little windy at times, those winds coming out of the west and southwest, and that's going to warm us up. We'll look for a high temperature of 72 degrees. And in Pueblo, same kind of thing. Look for a high temperature of 78. So the heat is on for tomorrow. We cool off a little bit over the weekend, but again, not all that bad. Temperature should get up into the 60s. We'll talk more about that later on in the show. Right now, we're headed back downtown. Nikki.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Terry. Still looking for a job? A company here in Colorado Springs is looking to fill 200 positions. In Colorado Springs, you better put a little more thought behind your next outfit. We're not making the grade when it comes to fashion. Making business news tonight, Alorica plans to hire 200 people for its Colorado Springs call center within the next 2 months, according to the Gazette. This as it expands and to handle additional work from telecommunications, electronics, and credit monitoring clients. An open house has been scheduled for interviews. It will be held from 9 to 3 p.m. April 13th at the center located at 6805 Corporate Drive. You can also apply online at aloricajobs.com. Well, when it comes to fashion in the Springs, it doesn't appear we have what it takes to compete. Fox 21's Travis Ruiz has more.
Colorado Springs, home of beautiful mountains and beautiful scenery. And well, not the best dressed people in the country. That, according to a ranking from a real estate blog. Movoto blog combed through dozens of cities across the U.S. and came up with what they are calling the worst dressed cities in America. And while Colorado Springs not looking so hot, it's listed as, get this, the second worst dressed city in America. So how did they get that? Here's the criteria they used. The number of high-end clothing stores, high-end jewelry stores, and high-end shoe stores per capita. The blog also used alteration shops in its ranking system because, of course, our clothes must fit properly. That, and they also used the number of schools offering fashion courses. How did Colorado Springs fare against the others when it comes to high-end clothing stores? According to the blog, a whopping 0. And as for those jewelry stores and shoe stores, we had some, but just not enough to compete. All in all, it's just another ranking, but next year, dress it up. In Colorado Springs, Travis Ruiz, Fox 21 News.
Well, you've got to see what this boss is doing to attract talent. We're talking a private chef and working in your bare feet. And some say this dog can really talk. Hear it for yourself. Coming up. In tonight's Modern Medicine, an employer in Chicago is offering some great perks so he can recruit and retain top talent. Fox's Tisha Lewis takes a look.
Where else can you work barefoot? Have a hydraulic motor desk greet you. A private chef cook low-fat meals. And a boss who burns calories while conducting meetings from his office on a treadmill desk.
In a day, you can lose where you're at and you can walk 8 miles. You know, at 2 miles an hour, 4 hours of desk work becomes an 8-mile walk.
Tech company Table XI is bringing Silicon Valley culture to Chicago. Josh Golden transformed the culture of his 11-year-old company a few years back in order to attract top talent.
The Facebooks, the Googles, the Groupons, all these people battling each other for the best of the best.
Part of Golden's pitch are health-conscious perks the Near West Side company offers to promote an optimal lifestyle, including offering employees made-to-order meals and a daily lunch by Chef Aram Reed.
No processed foods, and also making sure that I'm controlling all the salt levels and all the fats that go inside.
Most people spend their workday sitting, but not here at Table XI. Employees stand. It's not your typical workplace. Employees are encouraged to work out while working. The boss here believes a healthy mind starts with a healthy body.
We've got the standing workspaces. In fact, we actually also use standing as a way of working in meetings.
Extended sitting reportedly slows the body's metabolism and can lead to heart disease and type 2 diabetes. These anti-fatigue standing desk mats apparently help with back pressure.
Just being able to make small changes is huge.
For Suba Shriyam, each perk adds up to a formula for success.
Well, many more American women are living with their partners rather than marrying them. A new study shows nearly half of women between 15 and 44 cohabitated outside marriage between 2006 and 2010. That's compared to 43% in 2002 and 34% in 1995. Experts think couples are waiting for improved financial stability before deciding to marry. Researchers have found a link between male baldness and an increased risk for coronary heart disease. The study was small, but they reported men whose baldness affected the crown of their head faced a 32 to 84% increase in heart disease risk. That risk appeared to be dependent on the severity of hair loss. Well, stick with us. Terry will have a week's worth of weather coming up next. Rumor has it there's a talking dog in Tyler, Texas. Staff members say there was something very unique about Domino. He made a whining, barking noise that sounded like the words, "I love you." I don't know, what do you think? Domino's talking abilities made him a hot target at the shelter. He was quickly adopted. Terry, smart dog, right?
I tell you, I heard it clearly with no problem at all. Yeah, he's saying, "I love you." There it is, right there. Couldn't be better. Hey, here's what happens over the next 7 days. Coming up tomorrow, a little bit windy, but they're warm westerly and southwesterly winds. High temperature of 72. We lose about 10 degrees on each day over the weekend. Slight chance of some showers on Saturday. Monday, a little thunder may go with those showers. And Tuesday, cool enough that we may see some snow mixed in with that rain as the winds blow and the temperature tops out only in the 40s. In Pueblo, upper 70s tomorrow. Again, about 10 to 12 degree loss over the weekend. Monday, 63, a chance of showers with some thunder. And Tuesday, 52 for your high and a chance of some rain, maybe a few flakes mixed in with that. But all in all, nice warm day coming up for tomorrow. Hope you enjoy it. Back downtown, Nikki.
All right, Terry, thanks so much. And thank you for being with us. For more news and weather, check out our website, fox21news.com. See you at 9.
I don't know why it don't take me downtown anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.